You're all dressed up.
I'm sure I'll still look unraveled in 2 hours.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning,
everybody.
How do you?
We're a couple minutes late, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we are. But we're on, and nobody else is on yet, so I guess everybody else
They
is
gave
late
up
too.
waiting for us, probably.
Okay, we'll wait till we get a few people on. Okay, we have some people on. Good morning. We've got 5 people watching and nobody talking yet.
They haven't had their coffee.
No, well, you're just getting yours.
I am.
We are here to do this next step. What is this, the third step?
I think so, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
we
this
did
is the
balls
third step
and,
of Peppermint Lane. Good morning, Susan McNeil.
We're going to do the gingerbread man today.
I'm going to show you Twyla's new quilt. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it.
There you go.
Look. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, Twyla, tell us a little bit about the quilt. Who designed it?
Well, obviously, it's a Lori Holt.
Obviously. That's what Twyla does.
I'm going to surprise you guys one day and do something that isn't Lori Holt, actually.
Look at
So
that.
this is her latest sew along. I think she's on week 6, so she does like a block a week or whatever.
You went ahead of the group then.
Yeah, I just go by, like, because you get all your information and your cutout directions are there. It's just a matter of placement, and so mine may not be placed exactly the same measurement she placed hers, but it's whatever it is, right? As far as I'm concerned. So it was a lot of fun to do. This is the one that I wasn't sure whether I should be doing the invisible thread or the colored thread. I've only ever used invisible thread, so this was my first time using the colored thread. Yeah. I like it. I'm not sure that my next one will be with colored or whether I'll go back to the invisible. I'll have to just see.
It looks good. From afar, you can't. Looking from afar, you can't really even see the colored thread.
Well, the one thing I did discover, just so people know, is when you've got a fabric that have like different shades within the fabric, I have one of these blocks, the first block made.
You didn't make 2 of them.
I did, because I matched, like, the thread on this one was like the darker blue, and it really didn't go away, Walter. And it really shows out. So I think I've discovered that when you're matching your thread, if there's a patterned fabric to go to the lighter shade, it doesn't show up as much like a sore thumb, like as it does with the darker.
Okay.
With the darker shade.
So that's a good tip.
Yeah. So that was one thing I learned.
For that?
Well, I did learn, because I was a little worried about some of my blocks. Like, I felt like when we were quilting it that the borders had to be stretched a bit, and I think it was all when I was actually doing my applique, I discovered into it about on the 5th or 6th block, I think, that as you're feeding it through the machine, if you sort of keep your fabric pulled apart, it doesn't sort of pull that fabric in as it's doing the stitch or whatever, and it kept the block flatter.
So did you make your block bigger and then square it down?
Yes, her directions usually give that your block is bigger, and I don't know whether you guys can tell or not, but she's done a scrappy background, so that isn't a solid background. That actually has 16 pieces of fabric in the background. But it actually is very nice for when you're placing your applique, because it gives you landmarks to place things a bit more equally, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that you know that this one was roughly, so far above the line on both sides, and I don't look too close because that still didn't make it even in a lot of blocks. So I did like the scrappy background for that reason, and it also gave you seams to center things, right? So that was really helpful, I found.
All right.
So, but yes, you do, after it was all done, then you squared it up to a 16.5-inch block is what it is. So,
okay. All right. So we are going to, everybody likes your work, Twyla.
It was fun. It really was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh,
okay, let's go in and see.
I am going to cover the camera so you guys don't get blurred.
Oh, isn't she thoughtful?
What?
She's so thoughtful.
Well, I don't know.
I never think to do that. I just make them dizzy, I think. You covered the camera and it's showing you, not where you're walking.
Oh, that's a good start.
We're on a good roll.
I was trying, everybody.
She was trying to be thoughtful.
Oh, myself. Oh, my gosh.
You got your shirt. No, you don't have it on
It
back.
feels like it's
in
back.
the back.
Okay, it feels like it's up.
Okay. So, guys, this is the flock we're doing today. And in the pattern, there are 2 of these. One here and one you can't really tell because the name of the book is over it, but there's 2 of them up here at the top of the quilt. So, for those of you who got earlier kits, you've got these fabrics. This fabric is the one we already have done, and then this one is the one that we're using for our second gingerbread. But for those of you who got later kits, didn't we substitute for another gray because we ran out of one of these grays. So yeah, there is another gray background fabric and you don't have to use this taupey gray. You can use whatever you want. If you want a red gingerbread man, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? Could be whatever you want.
Color, right?
It
could have icing on it, right? It could be any color.
Well, I actually was looking on Pinterest the other night, and there was like a lot of Christmas quilts where like the gingerbread are red or the candy canes are green. Like, it doesn't really have to be that realistic, right? It can be whatever. So that's what we're doing today, and there's a lot of
places for error.
There's also a lot of places that we could screw up, so it'll be interesting to see. So we're going to start. Deb isn't going to completely do like one section and complete it because she's going to change her feet so she can do all of the diagonal seams first. So, and then once we get that done, we will sew the strips together when she gets her other foot on. So let's start by building the head, which is simple. It is just your square piece with 4 corners. So again, you can either mark your corners, fold them in half and crease them, do whatever you want, eyeball them. My guess is on that small, Deb's going to eyeball.
Are you going to take the camera?
I'm going to take the camera.
Okay, we're going to make it a little bit blurry, everybody.
You got it?
Yeah.
There we go. We had to turn our iron on too so it heats up, don't we?
We have to press?
Well, at some point you're... Woo, baby. You don't want to look at that. My ugly mug. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, here she goes. She's off with the...
I almost put that upside down because you had it upside down.
Yeah, well, I just had it so they could see what fabrics we were using. So 4 corners. And I'm thinking that we probably should move this thing over here where you can see, and I'll just... We can't give you guys any measurements. All I will tell you is that a couple of these squares are not always square in this particular block.
Yeah, sometimes
they're off by an eighth of an inch, like that you cut it an eighth of an inch wider one way than the other. So you are going to have to be careful which way you do it. So now she's moving on to the arms. So if you look here before she sews,
you see how they go this way and
so
this way.
she's got this piece of fabric and she's got to do these 2 triangles, and then of course on this arm they go on the opposite end, but you can just you can do them both the same and then flip it and it'll be exactly the same, right? So that's what she's doing now.
Do I have to trim that before I do? Just in case. I don't know that I had to do that. I didn't.
I think you would have been fine, probably just flipping it back till you did it, right?
Yeah, I think so. My other arm is where? Right up here?
Yeah, right there's your other arm. I think this block is cute.
I like the other colored gingerbread better than this one.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one better. Because it's got red.
Of course.
Oh, Sue says she knows because she had to redo one of the heads. It was off
a
little bit. And that is one of the blocks that the side pieces aren't square, so you have to pick them up the right way. Yeah.
Okay,
so now she's going to do the legs. Now this gets a little tricky. So the first part that she's going to do, let's look at the leg. She's going to do this big triangle first. Just ignore. See this little piece here? This is going to be the last piece you do. So she's going to do this big triangle. And because it's a bit bigger, she's going to press that so she has a seam to follow, a crease to follow.
So let me look at the
okay,
foot.
So she's going to look.
I'm going to go this way.
Yeah, so she's building this leg. So she's putting it, see where she's got it on her block? Yep.
I don't trust my eyes not to screw
Well,
that
whatever
up.
you do, don't do what I tell you to do, because we saw how that went.
That was funny last week.
Yes, Lynn, you're right. In this particular block, most of the blocks could be off very easy.
Yeah. And
So
this-
now she's doing, so
this one's
see, she's
going
doing
this
the
way.
opposite leg. So just be careful that you've got your,
going in the right direction.
and it's always good practice to check before you trim, as we learned last
See,
week.
I'm checking.
Okay. So now she's just going to trim that. There we go.
I'm even going to press it, Twyla.
Woohoo, look at her go. So now you have an option. I don't know which way the pattern tells you because I'm not showing you guys the pattern book because it has measurements. So when you look at this leg, you can either do this opposite little square down here, or
And I
you could
think
do
I
this
will.
time. So she's going to
I'm
do,
going to do this one.
so she's doing this leg. So see where she's putting,
I'm
so
putting
she's
it
doing this
way.
leg. So she needs to be on the opposite corner of where her, she needs to be like across from the first diagonal line. Your two diagonal lines should be parallel to each other.
So this one is going, I got to make sure I'm doing it right here. This one's going
So
this
now she's
way.
looking at this one.
Look
And so
going.
see, her seam is going this way, so she wants her seam to go parallel to the last seam. There we go.
And then we're going to go put the other one on. The other little square. Where is
Okay, so now, so
Right
she's
here.
talking about, right, whoops, the scissors are covering it there. See this little tiny corner here? So that's, whoops, there you are. Sorry guys, I'm probably making you dizzy flipping
that?
around
I'm
here.
going
Yeah.
like this.
And this one is going to, the seam is going to cross your previous seam that's there. There we go.
I'm going to open it up and check it.
Yeah, and there it is.
Okay.
So that's one leg.
The other leg's going here.
Yeah. So
gonna
now
put the
she's
other
doing this
one.
little one down here. So there
And
she
it's
is
going
down
right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go.
Ah, my machine come unthreaded. Look what happened.
Oh, you got a mess going on.
Yeah, that's why it come undone. It hooks. Sometimes my machine jumps
Mm-hmm.
quicker than, like when it does that, and then it flips it up over that.
I bet it wouldn't with a heavier weight thread. Do you know what I mean?
Probably
I
wouldn't.
find when you're using a lightweight thread, that happens more often.
And the thing is, I'm trying to use up the last of my thread from out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using up all of these little spools just to...
Yeah, so she's actually using that thread she's using is very lightweight.
Yeah. My eyes aren't open yet. That's the worst.
Doesn't matter if my eyes are open or not. I've gotten so blind in the last couple of
I know,
years. Man,
right?
I find threading needles hard.
That's the worst with these industrial machines. They don't have a threader.
I don't even use the threader on my other two machines.
What?
I don't. I just
Oh, if I had it, I would use it.
I need to do it, but I don't. Okay, so that's our two legs, and we did the two arms, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we did the head.
Yeah.
So
Leg
our
goes-
last
I'm just put my leg on the right side.
yeah, so there. So she's laying her legs.
I
so
should
there
have
you
my
go.
spray in here that I like to use. We never think to bring that in.
Okay, so there's the other leg. So now I think their next thing that's
Is this one?
yeah, but we're going to cut those. So that actually, you probably don't need your foot because it's going to be a straight seam
Yeah,
when
I
we
can
get it
switch my
cut,
feet
right?
now, yeah.
So you can dump here because I'm holding the camera. Here you go.
I'll come up there.
Oh, you're going to come up here? Okay.
Well, it's probably just as easy.
So let's get our block so they can see what we're talking about. So you see this bow tie right here? You actually start with these two size blocks. And the pattern says you cut corner to corner to get 4 pieces. So that's what we're going to do. We actually, oh, look at her go. Here we go. Corner to corner. She's going to have that cut all to pieces probably. What do you think? She says she's not. We'll see. So we don't actually have to cut the red one because when you cut
The first
the
one.
first gingerbread man, you are going to have your 2 diamonds left, so you won't need your red. So Now she's just going to sew these little 4 diamonds together into a square. There we go.
Okay. I have to switch my feet.
Susan, I agree. I got so frustrated trying to figure out my threader that I gave up, and I just...
Really?
Yes. And neither one of my machines thread the same way, which is even more frustrating because I forget which one does which. So I just try to thread with my eyes, but oh man.
Oh.
But I might have to give in and learn because my eyes are getting so bad. Oh, Lynn uses her threader.
Does she?
Yeah, of course she does.
I've got another one of these machines coming for my she shed.
Your she shed.
That's what I'm going to call it, my she shed.
Her and Karen sewed all day yesterday out in the she
Yeah.
shed. Well, no, Deb bought fabric.
Oh, yeah, I had a fabric rep here yesterday, and you would not believe what I bought. Oh, my soul.
It was very nice, some of the stuff she bought. You wait till you see some of the fabric and one of the patterns that goes with it. It's so freaking cute.
Oh. I had the fabric rep come and say, you know, there's a fabric store that I went to that said, we don't even want to buy that fabric because we know that it's got Quilts by the Bay's name written all over it. So they didn't buy any of it. It's like, oh, yeah, people are starting to know my style.
Okay, so... She just did this piece.
And I'm going to hook it there.
So now that she's going to make this row here with the arms on either side of the bow tie. Make sure your red bow tie is going the right way.
Did we do that?
Yes, you did. Yep. You're going to stitch the red to the arms, you're not stitching the gray to the arms.
This goes pretty quick, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And we haven't made a mistake yet.
Oh, she said that out loud, folks. There we go. Oh,
Okay.
Stephanie's son-in-law has COVID.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So this can go onto that belt?
No, that's not the belt. Get out of there. Just get out of there. Does that
Oh, yeah.
dude look like he has a belt? Like, look at that. That piece that you're looking at is his bottom sashing
Okay,
piece.
all right. I wondered why it was sitting where it didn't belong.
Which
then.
I've got to double check that the sashing even goes in that spot on this one, because sometimes the sashing goes in different places, right?
Right.
So let's...
So what are we putting now, Twyla?
Okay, so now
Third
let's build
boss.
on... You've got your head, right?
Yeah,
Is that
I
what
got
you're
my
trimming?
head, yeah.
So let's put these on. So this is the ones... Just wait, I got to find them. They're not there.
What do you mean?
They're right here. I had them separate so they wouldn't get mixed up.
Oh.
So now this square is not square. This is the square that has an 1/8 of an inch difference one way than the other. So you have
just
to
wanna
make
make
sure
sure.
that you're putting it the right way. So she's doing this part here where you put a piece on either side of the head.
Okay, that's right.
Okay?
Di Sue said she noticed that.
I think she said she did it wrong.
I
Which would
think,
be easy to do.
I think Di Sue for the 1/8 of an inch, I would fudge it and leave it.
Yeah. Because that would be an easy one to fudge.
Yeah.
But some people don't do the fudging thing. It's not in their personalities, and everybody's got to do what they're comfortable doing.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
there's my head.
There's her head. So now she's going to
There's
put her
my
arms to her
arms.
head. So when you look at this, guys, they're real. Whoops, here I am. There's really nothing to match up here. Like for seams, you're just, as long as your two ends are matched up, you're sewing straight across.
Oh, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would cut those dog ears off.
Yep. Yep, they would.
Would
And some
that be
people would
you?
have that all pressed before they stitch it on.
That's Twyla.
No, not always. Sometimes it's easier
so I have
to...
that done. Now
Okay.
now I need... Oh,
So now we're
belly.
going to build this belly section. So up here at the top of the board, the first thing we're going to do, see these buttons? You got to put your 2 buttons with a little plain brown square in the middle. So that's what she's going to do first.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. I fudge because I hate picking out. That's why I fudge.
This goes on either side.
Yep, so now she's adding see here, the gray, the strip that goes on either side, sort of like his belly. And then there's 2 background pieces that go on either side. And again, just make sure you have the right, but that one will be easy to tell. Just wait, is that the right background piece? Does it look right? Yeah, background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so make sure, yeah.
I need my acorn creasing spray to get this laying flat.
And is that one the same size?
No, it's not. So you have to make sure it's
Yeah,
going
I
the right
thought
way.
that was, that's another one that your measurements are the, one side is longer than the other, so make sure you have it going the right way. There, so now this buddy goes on there. And again, if you look at this block, there's really nothing, whoops,
There's nothing.
there's
to
really
match.
nothing to match up there. You just make sure your 2 ends are lined up and go.
Okay.
Make her fit.
I'm going to put this on here. How, can we skip that? Because I want to put this
Oh,
on.
she's going to put the ball, she's going to
I'm
put his
gonna
legs
join
on.
these 2 first.
Okay, so
And there's
now
a
she's
reason.
joining the 2 legs together. So on this, is there something to match up?
Yeah. There
So
is.
how are you matching that up?
I put 1 seam up and 1 seam down.
So you know how you're always, like they say, press to the dark? If you want to butt your seams so that they
You
match
have
up
to
nicely,
flip it.
you are going to flip 1 to the light and 1 to the dark in that case.
Yeah. And is there anything to match? Oh, there's nothing to match up here either.
No, isn't this block great? Don't you love
It's
blocks
easy.
like that? Yeah,
But I'm
easy
not
peasy.
going to sew it together because sometimes when I first thread my machine,
I don't know where you're going with this.
yeah, I know.
So tell me the story. What are you talking about?
I'm not going to sew the top to the bottom of this gingerbread because I see something I have to go back in and fix.
Oh, what do you see that you have to fix?
See, sometimes when I start threading my machine, if I haven't pulled it right through my disc, it makes a loose stitch.
Oh, okay.
And I want to go back in and fix
Okay.
that. It just starts.
So the
out that
other
way.
thing I want to check
So there
is
it
where the sashing on this one goes. So I got to open the book here. You
I'll
take
take
that
this.
so that I have my hands and don't make them so sick to their stomach that they don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
The
sashing?
Yeah, the sashing goes on the bottom on both blocks.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
good.
So just always double check. Don't assume on a sampler type quilt that your sashings always go in the same place because sometimes they don't, depending on the placement within the quilt.
Yeah.
But in this case, it says to make 2 blocks like this. So the sashing's going to go across the bottom.
So that's it. So what are we going to do next week, Carla?
Next week.
Has anybody out there got this quilt done? Like I see Daisu's ahead of us.
Oh, Stephanie says the button and the belly flower. Belly flower.
Look at the flower. I think it's...
Oh, okay.
I did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah, right. She did. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
Next week, we're doing the trees.
Those look like
They're simple.
Yeah.
Simple, simple, simple. And how many of those are there all together? There are. So in the pattern, there's 3 of those. So I think if I remember right, we did maybe 2 greens and a tealy green for the trees. If I remember right.
Oh, did we?
But we'll show
we
it
didn't
next
do them
week.
all the same.
No, they're not all the same. No, I think
Okay.
they're all different. And I think our wreaths are all different too.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I'm going back to fix my stitch there just because I don't like that loose stitch.
Okay, so she's just going to do that and get it sewn together to have a block that looks like
This one.
that dude. There we go. Isn't he cute?
He is.
So we will see you next week. Have you got anything else to tell anybody?
I don't think. We're looking for 2 people that ordered the Waves pattern, aren't we? The Waves kit.
3 people, I think.
3 people ordered the Waves kit. Come to find out, we're in the middle of talking with the
Author of the
author right
pattern.
now. She has published 2 different pattern fabric requirements.
So this is the same quilt that Deb did with the compass point thing in the center. The what was yours called? I can't remember.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. And then it came out in a queen size, which was called Waves. It's basically the same
Same thing.
pattern, same look.
And she did the exact
Same thing that she
by-
had done on the first one, that there's 2 sets of published fabric requirements. They're not all messed up. It looks like it's just a couple of the dark. So if you're one of the 3 people that we already shipped the waves, we didn't ship everybody's yet because we're still waiting for more of the patterns to come in. So if you're one of the 3 that got them shipped out,
it just might be as simple as moving a couple of fabrics.
it might be. So we're just waiting to hear back from her to clarify for sure which one is right. And it may not be an issue at all because her measurements have been very generous in her cutting requirements, and you may be able to do it fine the way it is. But whatever it works out to be, if you need more fabric, we will make sure that you get more fabric at no cost to yourself. We'll get it corrected. Yeah. So just reach out to us and we'll try to explain to you what's what to look for in your fabric. Okay. So we will see you next Wednesday at 9 for the tree. And there goes Deb, lickety split. You almost got that done?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll wait for you and we'll show it.
Well, no, I don't have the bottom. Oh, I still have the bottom on.
Well, Stephanie, we're kind of deciding that it's, even though her patterns are lovely, that...
might be our last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel bad when that happens, but...
we can't control
it.
We
can't control it. We're just discovering the mistakes as we go along using the patterns, so...
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, everybody.
Oh, that one's cute. I like it. Okay.
All right,
Let's
see you later.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.